Summer is often seen as a season filled with fun, freedom, and opportunity. Yet, for many young Canadians, the pressure to be happy, productive, and successful can make summer stressful. In this video, my colleague, Homewood's Gabrielle Provencher, Director of Enhanced Mental Health Care and Workplace Support, offers her expert insights on the pressures facing youth and young adults and practical strategies for managing anxiety and maintaining mental well being throughout the summer months.
I think that it's important to normalize, just like you did, that two truths can coexist. We can be happy that summer is coming up, but we can also feel some sort of sadness or grief. I think we really underestimate how much of a grieving process young adults go through, whether it's the end of the school year, the end of the school era, the start of their career, missing friends, missing teachers, maybe moving. There's really a lot of transition. And so throughout those school years or maybe the other season, we see a lot more of routines. And those routines, they really do serve as anchor. They're reassuring, they're comfortable, they're predictable. And also keeping in mind that not everyone wants to mingle during the summer, and we're all different. We all process things differently. We all want to be involved or not in different activities. So I think we need to recognize that socializing doesn't necessarily means that it needs to happen every day and at its mass capacity, because it's just simply not the reality for everybody. I Young adulthood is a period where we create our own identity, our own independence. So the pressure is on, whether it's from the parents to earn money, to want to do things. And we also have a lot of big future questions that we never have to think about. So that pressure to figuring it out in a world where future is very uncertain or anxiety triggering for some. And we also have to keep in mind that youth unemployment rates is continuing on its upward trend, and it has left an increasing number of young people struggling to find work since the pandemic. During the summer month, this is a time where usually people get employed, and so there may be more of challenges there. Young adulthood I think we have a lot of shoulds for young adult. You should be happy. You should enjoy your best life. But it's not always the case. That pressure, it's felt by a lot of them. There's also the famous FOMO, the fear of missing out, the social comparison, the comparison trap from social media. And what's important to remember is the way this generation grew up with social media is very different than other generation. It has become a way of living. It's not just a space where people feel they can disconnect from anymore. Their online experience are internalized as true experience. Their self-worth may be seen as the amount of likes they get throughout the day. Their chat conversation can be perceived as true human interaction, but we know that our brain always favor human connection face to face. And we're at a time where children, young adults, teenager, when they were bullied, for instance, that would stay within the school space, in the schoolyard. Now that threat is following them 24/7 everywhere. They are exposed to toxic, sometimes aggressive, inappropriate content that it's not always easy for them to escape or to disconnect from. And that can be very trying for their mental health. Helpful strategy to start with is really to shift a question from, am I having the summer, am I supposed to be having, to what would make the summer meaningful for me right now. So again, are these my goals or are these someone else's goals? So really important to just reshift the focus to yourself. Also, keeping in mind, rest doesn't equal a failed summer or wasted time. We live in a society where patience, taking our time and rest is just not encouraged. So we're tolerant hence our patience for not doing anything is getting lost. So maybe being more intentional about carving those time to also connect with other in some shape or form, disconnect from the screen and be in the moment, going with the flow, can do wonders for our brains and well-being. Another thing is that to remember is that anxiety tends to grow when we avoid uncomfortable feeling or compare ourselves to others. So being on the lookout for avoidance behavior that can create that self-reinforcing patterns. The more we feel lonely, we may isolate ourselves because we feel misunderstood. And so the more we avoid those social interaction, on a longer term, longer period of time, that could create other issue. And still make sure you have moments to make those human connection as much as possible. Capitalize on the amazing weather, the nature, and practice of self-compassion. That may look like noticing the way that you speak to yourself, avoiding the shoulds that we've talked about, but rather, what do I need? What do I want right now? And remembering also that not all life challenges are inherently bad. Some shapes our characters and help us grow. So not losing that ability also to face them as well, but noticing how we discover our strength through them. Helpful.